What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Info Arcade this Tuesday, November the 15th. I've got my fellow co-hosts, Stathead and AJ Kincaw, with me today. We got a special guest coming up later in the show, but first, guys, how are we doing? How are we doing?
I'm doing great right now. Let me tell you,
That's
it's
good.
been a great day. Saw Wakanda Forever. That movie blew me out of the water.
I still need to see
Just
it.
been hanging with good people, got good news and everything. I'm here. We're gonna bring in good energy into this show. Just
Got some good vibes, baby. Kratos says, "What the heck? I never knew your real name." Well, now you do.
Oh God.
AJ, you doing good, my man? How is the Windy City? How is the beautiful North?
It's kind of gloomy. It
Yeah?
snowed a little today.
Yeah?
I don't know. I'm a little tired. Just wanted
Yeah.
to take a nap.
We've got our in-laws over visiting, and we did Thanksgiving early, and I ate some turkey, and I'm probably gonna go take a nap after this, and not wake up for like 13 hours. But anyway, we've got a lot to go through before we get to that. We have a jam-packed show for all of you guys watching on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Info Arcade. If you don't know what the heck this show is, you are just in time, because I'm going to tell you, this is the fan-controlled sports and entertainment network. This is fan-controlled television. We are fans of fan-controlled sports, and we run a television show, a broadcast, whatever you want to call it, right here every single week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, for all of you guys to enjoy. We talk sports, video games, streaming media, pop culture, you name it. And we're going to dive into quite a few topics today. We've got some really fun stuff. But first, we're going to go into some sports with our first up segment. Let's kick it off right now.
Let's go.
And let's go into our first topic. And guys, I just want to apologize first and foremost to the city of Philadelphia, because we've been giving you nothing but crap the past 3 weeks, and the train is still rolling because the Eagles got beat by the Washington Commanders in Monday Night Football last night. And they should have won that game. The Eagles should have won that game, and it slipped right through their fingers despite a great performance from Jalen Hurts. It was not enough to keep the Eagles alive. And boys, we got to talk about this. Do you think it was the long break that hurt them, or is there just some cloud of darkness over Philadelphia? I mean, let me lay this out for you. The Flyers and Sixers are both 50% on their seasons right now. They are both respectively about 7-7 for the Sixers, 7-6-2 for the Flyers. And since the last, not the most recent game last night from the Eagles, but the last time that the Eagles played was Thursday Night Football on November 3rd. They had a 11-day break between games. And in their 11-day break between games, the Phillies lost the World Series and Philadelphia Union lost the MLS Cup. And now the Eagles lose their undefeated season. They go to 8-1. Boys, let's talk about it. Stathead, how you feeling, my man?
I feel like I may have contributed this. I think I was building up Philly a little too much, and I also think, I was looking at fantasy. I really needed Terry McLaurin to pop off and Jalen Hurts not to, and the only way that that's possible is if the Eagles lose. So, I'm sorry, Philly. I did you a disservice, but also, like, yikes. The Sixers thing, I'm not even shocked about that. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, the Sixers gonna Sixers.
Yeah, but like losing the cup, losing the series, and then the first loss in 8-0 for the first time like the Eagles have ever gone 8-0, and then they lose to the Commies. I feel like I need to apologize for some reason. I feel like maybe I did something, like maybe I shouldn't have rooted for them. Maybe it was bad juju. But yikes.
AJ, go ahead. He's muted. It's okay. I don't know what's up.
I keep muting myself. That's what
It's
keeps happening.
It's okay, man. It just wasn't important.
No. It's I have this new mic thing set up. It's like the top of it is like it's very
Fancy.
sensitive. I'm trying to get my new mic. Like I have this new XLR mic. I needed a new setup, and now it's just finicky. It's finicky. Every time I see red, it's supposed to be muted, and I'm just like, ooh, pretty colors.
Yeah, totally great.
No, I'll say this. I think that it's not that stat had upped Philly too much. It's the curse of Philly. Let's be honest. Philly they don't deserve to. We talked about this a while back. They don't deserve 2 championship wins in one day. They deserve to be the first city that loses both in one day. Why? Because their sanitation crew had to start greasing up the poles in case something happened. Because you can't trust anybody in Philly to win something. Because why? It looks like the world is ending when they do. So, for the good of everyone, even the citizens of Philadelphia, the world has chosen to curse them. And I'm gonna quote this as maybe it's the first take curse, maybe it's like the curse of who knows, but Philly doesn't deserve to win. I'm happy they're not winning, and this curse needs to continue to go. I think that the Eagles need to not go to the Super Bowl. I think it'd just make me happier either way. I know that Josh McCough would be happy if that happens because he's a Steelers fan, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't see it. They don't deserve to win it. I'm just saying.
as a guy who grew up in Dallas, I can't help but laugh at Philadelphia every freaking time they lose. It doesn't matter. I would say I'm more of an estranged Dallas Cowboys fan these days. I really haven't followed the Cowboys too closely ever since Tony Romo let me down in that playoff game where he dropped the stupid field goal. I will never forget that, Tony Romo. You messed with me for life. And sorry, there's some emotional damage. We will not go into that. But all I will say is this, and that is, it was a very, very back and forth game, very competitive game. The big story really out of Washington is this. Does Carson Wentz have a starting job when he gets back?
No.
I don't think he does.
Absolutely not. They've done way better under Taylor Heineke. Like Taylor Heineke, let's not even forget that wild card loss. Heineke balled out against Brady. And like they've just played better under him. Like, don't overthink it. It's right there. Go with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Taylor earned that spot. AJ, what do you think?
Give the kid a shot. Why not? He's earned it.
He's earned it indeed, for sure.
Keep trying to take away. They keep trying to take away his shot. That's the problem.
True. That's true.
Yep. Anyway, the Eagles are going to try to bounce back next week. And you know who else is trying to bounce back under new leadership? We talked about Jeff Saturday joining the Colts last week, and they won their first game against the Raiders, though. Like, come on. Is it that big of a deal? Is it really that big of a deal? Sure, you went to Vegas, but you know what they say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I am not 100% sold on this Colts organization yet. We need to see some more consistency moving forward. Guys, I want to know your take, starting with AJ.
I mean, let's be real. This guy was calling plays from his couch a couple weekends back, and he hit the nail on the head, though. He said the Raiders were a trash organization, and then 2 weeks later beat them on his first week calling plays. So he's not wrong. I think this is just an ongoing trend of let's just make fun of the Raiders. I think that's all this is. This isn't hey, the Colts are moving in a right direction. This is more, hey, the Raiders are gonna Raider. Welcome. But I think this is let's be honest here. I think this is just Matt Ryan's last hurrah. He just putted over the finish line for that win, and good on him. Yeah, he still got some gas in him, but I think this is the last season and he needs to go out. I think this was lucky for the Colts, a lucky win for the Colts. I don't expect this to continue. And like I said, Raiders are gonna Raider. That's all I took from this is oh, hey, the Raiders lost. Look at that.
do you agree with Saturday's call to put Matt Ryan back in instead of going with the rookie Sam Ellinger? I mean, he had a rough last couple of weeks. Saturday comes in, he says, "Okay, Matt, you're back. Like, we're putting you back in the starting role."
Well, I mean, it was the right decision clearly because they won.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
Is the organization trying to win now? I don't know. That's a question for the organization, not for me. But hey, a win's a win at the end of the day, and that's how I look at it. If he wins the game, like you said, the rookie's not doing well. He's having issues. That's what a veteran quarterback is there for. Allow him to come in, take some pressure off the rookie, and show him a thing or two. Like show him how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, this is his sophomore season. Freddie Airmail pinged me and is like, "You're wrong." Go
all right, sorry, sophomore, but still,
I said rookie, got us all off, and now you even screwed up.
I didn't say anything. I just wanted you to look stupid. I
you
knew.
did great.
Just like I'm just gonna let. I think it's great. I think. Listen, I saw a comment. Sorry, Peanut, but we're gonna talk about how poor the Raiders are doing because I think this is a testament more of how bad the Raiders are than how good the Colts are.
Exactly.
The Colts have a quarterback problem. They've had a quarterback problem. They're not going to solve it until they draft a quarterback. I think Jeff Saturday has every opportunity to be a good coach. And I think like the first decision of putting Matt Ryan in was great, but the Raiders just stink. And I don't understand it. It's kind of fascinating how bad the Raiders are because you'd think with Adams there and Renfro and like Zay Jones, you got a solid, lineup of talented players. And you'd think Carr is just inconsistent. And like, I'm also going to throw my boy McDaniels under the bus. Give him back to us. We're the only ones that know how to use him. No one else does. Just give him back to us so we can get our offense back on track. Clearly, you guys don't know what you're doing with him. So, let us have him. We take care of him. We feed him twice a day. We take him out for walkies. And then our offense is competent again. So, you don't need him. You can't even do anything with Adams.
Are you saying he's the dog? Are you saying he's a dog? Is that what you're saying?
He's got that dog in him.
Where are you at, El Prez, in the chat? I'm calling you out. That's a dog. Just kidding. We were talking earlier about Brandon Silvers being a dog, and we'll talk more about that later when we get into XFL. But let's continue on into some more sports. We've got a breaking news topic we're going to hit off first. Let's go ahead into sports. And we're going into sports. Okay, great. Guys, this is all I will say is this. We've already got our first taste of a little MLB off-season free agency action. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily free agency. It's just the Yankees doing business. Anthony Rizzo signs to a multi-year deal, re-upping with the Yanks, $51 million if he plays out the entire contract with the Yankees. That's big money, boys. The real question remains is yes, this is exciting for the Yankees being able to retain a superstar like Rizzo, but will they be able to retain Aaron Judge? We have yet to see. But do you think that Rizzo's presence further deters Judge in his return to New York? Or do you see it the other way around, that it will actually keep Judge on the ball club? What do you guys think?
I don't think it matters.
I
think he goes where the money goes. He's like every real player should and would. He goes where the money is. But it's either that or it goes home. I don't know. I could see it either way, but I genuinely believe the man is going to go where the biggest paycheck is. And if that's the Giants, hey, so be it. It's his hometown too. But I don't know. I think the Yankees are going to do something. They're the Yankees. Yankees are getting Yankees. I'm going to say that throughout this whole thing. Raiders are going to lose because Raiders are going to Raiders. Yankees are going to pay a lot of money to people because that's what Yankees do.
Seabiscuit be Seabiscuitin'. I don't know.
Seabiscuit be Seabiscuit. He's winning. He's not getting. I could make it. I was this close to making that really morbid. So.
Oh God.
I mean, look, AJ's absolutely right on this one because when there's an article or many articles that say the San Francisco Giants are willing to do whatever it takes, stopping at no cost to get Aaron Judge, I'm like, I believe them because that's a great article to have out, because now if you're the Yankees, you see another team that wants your big name player and they're willing to pay. So you have two choices. You can either be an idiot and pay out of the butt for Aaron Judge, and then now you're paying too much to hope that he gets another 60 homers, or you let him walk and then he gets 60 homers over there. The Yankees are really, I think, trying to hope that, camaraderie and the good times and like just stick around for another one, we'll get there, is really going to win over Aaron Judge, because I don't think the money, someone's going to have to talk to Aaron personally and really like convince him, because otherwise
they're really going to have to bend the knee to Aaron Judge to get him
100%.
I love this comment from Peanut on Twitch. He throws the ideas like, well, you don't think Aaron Judge is going to the Cubbies, is he? And I don't think he's going to the Cubbies, but wouldn't that be something if Rizzo, former Cubs player from many years ago, has been with the Yanks now for some time, re-ups with the Yanks, and then Judge goes to the Cubs? That would be an interesting scenario. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Cubs have the cap space to make it. I really don't. But that's it. That's that breaking news. Let's go into our regular scheduled sports news. On Wednesday last week, right after the show, we got our World Cup U.S. men's team roster announced. Let's go USA. First time in 8 years making it into the World Cup. I got to say, I'm excited. I just hope we don't get beat like a drum, but we've got some promising young players on this squad. Quite a few standouts. Aronson and being able to hold down that midfield, along with Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams. I think that's really good. Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, like they've got some great wingers as well. Strikers Jesus Ferreira and Josh Sargent. They've got some great players on this team. A lot of these guys have been born and raised up in the U.S. program. They've won in the U-17s many years ago, and now they're going to the big show in Qatar. Guys, what are you looking forward to in the World Cup? We have 7 days to kick off, 12 days until the U.S. men's team faces England for the first game of their group stage. What are you guys looking forward to this World Cup on Black Friday, starting off for the U.S.? What do you guys think?
What was that? No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just hope we don't embarrass ourselves. That's all. Like, been a while since we've been in the Cup. I just hope we put up a good fight. I hope I hope we at least win a game or two. Like, really make it worth watching. Otherwise, I just don't want us to get embarrassed.
Yeah. So, go ahead, AJ.
I'm excited. So the World Cup, to me, the fact that it's, this time of year is fun because, everybody associates wintertime with, American football. And now we're getting some international football. I think it's a smart choice because of where it's being held in Qatar. If it was done in the summertime, people would have died. Literally, it's too hot for them to play outside. So this is a good compromise. But as far as like the players for the U.S. men's team, I think this is a crop of players that the U.S. hasn't had before. This is a level of talent they've never had. They have a bunch of players that are in the Premier League. Like, I'm going to say his name wrong probably, but Pulisic, dude's on Chelsea. We got a guy from Chelsea. We got guys from Juventus. We got guys from like Fulham. There are a lot of people who are playing in the Premier League. So they have that high caliber level of playing experience. Having said that, I think they're going to do well, but there's a lot of teams that are going to do well this year. Like, I think Portugal has a good chance at it. This is the last chance for Messi and Ronaldo to be like going at it at an international level. They both said there's rumors that, like we've talked about before, Messi coming to the MLS. This could be his last like international showing on that level. Yeah. So there's a lot, and what's going on with Iran and how it'll play out in the World Cup like stage as far as news and protest wise. There's a lot of stories going on following the World Cup this year, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what goes on, especially like What's going on with Ronaldo and the Man United? Will that affect him across the field?
Yeah.
There's so many storylines we can follow, and it's so exciting. And I hope every time this happens, every 4 years, the US gets rejuvenated with soccer love. And I hope we continue to see that afterwards, especially because the MLS is growing and it's becoming
Massively.
a real contributor to the world of soccer. So I'm excited to see it. I'm ready to see it. I'm cheering for the US and Portugal and Iran. I think it's going to be a great time. So we'll see.
Yeah, we've got one of the interesting things too is I think this is one of the first times the World Cup has ever been played in the middle of the Premier League season. So it's not like a summer played like it has been. Like usually if it's during the summer, that's right in the middle of the MLS season, but this is right in the middle of the Premier League season. So how that's going to affect Premier League as well in tiring those players or possibly causing injuries or whatever, that's going to be a whole other set of stories for the future. But right now, all Team USA has to worry about is England, first off, foremost. Then they got to worry about Wales, and they've got Iran. They're in the group stages. They just have to get the top 2 so they can advance. That's really it. If you didn't know that's how it worked, they're going to do a round robin. They take points. Only the top 2 go on. So we will see who makes it to the round of 16. But
I do think they're in the group of death. I don't know if there's been a group of death that's been decided, but I think that's the one that looks like it.
Dude, England and Wales, even Iran, they have some incredible players on those rosters, and it's going to be highly competitive. That England team is scary. They're looking to come back for revenge against France from 4 years ago. I don't know. We will see.
Who is the group of death then? Kratos?
Yeah, Kratos, let us know who you think the group of death is. But I'm going for Team USA all the way, and I'll always cheer for our red, white, and blue. Anyway, let's move on to the other football for all of you here in the United States. College football is happening, and we talked about this. We've been watching, our college football playoff updates each and every week. Who's bowl bound right now? Our top 4 are Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU, all of which are still undefeated and in that top 4 spot, 10-0 going in, moving forward here. So, the real question is, as we go through the teams that are active, that are going to make the playoff if things stay the way they are, which they can't, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But there are a lot of other teams in the hunt. Tennessee's in 5th, Oregon in 6th, LSU in 7th, USC in 8th, Bama at 9, and Clemson at 10. So we've got quite a few teams in the chase, but we're just going to go down the list. Do we see any upsets here? Georgia versus Kentucky. I don't see an upset. I don't see a move or shake up there. I think we all agree on that. Georgia is playing ferociously right now. Ohio State and Michigan are going to be really interesting because they play each other the week of Thanksgiving. They play each other. So one of those teams is going to fall out of the top 4. The question is which one is it going to be and who is going to jump and fill that spot? Because beyond TCU, from the 5th spot all the way down, there's not an undefeated team there. Everyone has one loss. So what's going to be the one loss team that gets in? Does the one loss team out of Ohio State or Michigan stay in the top 4, or does Tennessee or Oregon slide their way in to that top 4? But Ohio State takes on Maryland. I think that's a win. Michigan takes on Illinois. I think that's a win this weekend. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
TCU plays rival Baylor as well. It's a rivalry game. You never know what's going to happen, but TCU is, I'm still rooting for my Horned Frogs. I think they've got a shot. They just achieved the ability. They're guaranteed berth into the Big 12 championship game, which is phenomenal. And they've only got 2 more games after this. They've got Baylor this week, and then 1 more after that. That's it. So it'll be interesting.
All right, I gotta go back. I see Kratos commented on our question saying Portugal, Ghana, South Korea, and Uruguay. You're wrong. I'm sorry. That's not. It's Uruguay and Portugal are going to move on from that one. Yes, it's a tight group, but even online, it's being said that Group B, Iran, United Kingdom, Wales, and the U.S. it's the group of death. And surprisingly, in rankings-wise, FIFA-wise, it goes England to Iran, United States, Wales. So the predictions are saying the U.S. aren't going to move on and Iran will. So that's something we need to keep our eye on.
Yeah. I will
Sorry,
say,
I have to go back.
no, you're good. I think that's good. South Korea has a shot. The only question is Heung-Min Son. He had that fracture on his cheekbone that he can still play with. But the question is, we don't really know what's going to happen there. But back to American football, college football here. Oregon, Utah, they're both 8-2. Do we see Oregon getting upset again?
No, Bo Nix got it.
Okay.
Also, what up, Quantas Stiggers in the chat?
What up? How's it going?
Mr. 3INT.
Mr. 3INT indeed. LSU, UAB, that's a dub for the Tigers right there. Now
I'm gonna take the opposition on that just because I like the name Blazers and they're dragons, and that's cool. Screw LSU. I want the Dragon team to win.
That's great.
Fair.
Here's the most interesting matchup I'm seeing this week. We've got crosstown rivals between USC and UCLA, both 8-2. UCLA highly disrespected by the CFP rankings. They are not in the top 10. USC is in the top 10. They have played some tougher opponents, but the question is who's going to win the Battle of Los Angeles between these two teams this weekend? I think USC maintains their spot, but man, those Bruins, you got to root for them too at the same time, man. That would be quite the story. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm rooting for the Bruins, kind of, I guess.
A little bit.
I'm going to say this. I want them to beat USC. I hate it when like situations like that happen in college football because I'm going to be real. College football is one of those things where it's like there's too many teams. I don't understand the rankings. It's too complicated and too convoluted. All right. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Why are two teams 8-2 vastly different? I'm sure it's because they played teams that are bad or like historically bad. I'm sure there's something like that along with it, but screw it. I'm going to say the Bruins just because they're in California. They're like, you know what? We're just as good at them. We have the same record and we're getting disrespected. But at the same time, both those schools, denied me for my college. So both of them can lose and I don't care.
Listen, I'm going Bruins, but more importantly, I'm building off of what AJ said and hear me out. All right. New college playoff format. There's 11 Division I conferences. Yeah. You get the best football, like FCS team, right? The best. And then you get the winner of all 11 conferences. And then you just put them in a bracket. And then the winner wins college football.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what they're doing. They are working on finalizing a 12-team college football playoff right now.
Yeah. And just if you're going to have conferences.
It's expected to debut in 2024, but it's still not finalized. So, I mean, yeah, how they decide those 12 teams, I mean, we'll see. Peanut in the chat. Peanut in the chat saying Liberty highly disrespected. I disagree. Liberty played Arkansas. Arkansas hasn't done much. They put up a fight this weekend. They still lost to LSU.
All right,
it doesn't matter. Bama and Clemson.
I'm gonna take a second. Peanut, we get it. You went to Liberty. You love Liberty. They're not that good at football, man. Like
volleyball, on the other hand, they're pretty.
It's cool. It's like me being like, "Yo, let's go DePaul" every time the NCAA March Madness thing goes. It's cool. I love DePaul. I went there. My alma mater, good school. We suck at basketball. We haven't been good since the 90s, man. It's okay to get it's okay to love your team, but it's okay to not like always root for them, man. Like they're not even in the conversation. Don't try to bring them in.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
We'll see what happens. Number 9, number 10, Bama and Clemson. I think Bama wins their game in the number 9 spot. I think Clemson wins their game against Miami in the number 10 spot. Let's go on and move to our next topic.
Go on. Dragon Ball Z, man.
No, I know. I have been watching too much Dragon Ball Z.
Go on.
So we're gonna talk about Matt Ryan. No, not that Matt Ryan. We're gonna talk about the Lakers, Matt Ryan. I if you guys didn't know, there's a Lakers Matt Ryan
Oh, I
who
know.
was door dashing for his career in 2020, and now he's playing in the NBA as the 15th man on the roster for the Lakers. Now, the Lakers have really had a rough start with the 3-10, start to the season. LeBron James and Russell Westbrook aren't doing them any favors over there in LA. But this story is a glimmer of hope for all of our future hoops players, as well as maybe Los Angeles, because this is a guy who played college ball and then nothing. Didn't have an opportunity to play in the NBA. Literally worked for his grandfather in his graveyard and then DoorDash on the side. Like this was a guy just trying to make it by. And then all of a sudden he gets the invite to a Lakers camp, and then he gets on the roster. This 15th spot on the roster. He's averaged 9 minutes per game, 4.7 points per game. Here's those stats that Kyle loves. 1.3 rebounds per game. And a couple weeks ago, he hit an overtime entry shot with 1.3 seconds left against New Orleans in a game where he scored 11 points, had 2 rebounds, and an assist, and total 18 minutes of playtime. So, all this to say this is, have you guys heard of this guy? Matt Ryan. Have you,
He's coming for LeBron James's job. That's
LeBron job.
LeBron job. He's coming for that job. Apparently, he's coming for the crown.
No,
anyway,
I think I've heard of Matt Ryan. He's like very much a end of the bench kind of player, but one of those guys that has like a warm, feel good story to him. Having said that, I think he's the guy in the Lakers to maybe, stir up a fire, kick them in their ass to get them. Honestly, because this guy's young, he's going to get opportunities because this team is not good, but he's surrounded by superstars. So maybe, just maybe, if this youngster can like kick a fire into these old superstars' butt, maybe something like a miracle on ice or on the hardwood situation can happen. Having said that, I don't believe it. I don't think it'll happen.
Maybe miracle on the LED court situation. I mean, this seems like the kind of story.
A miracle on turf situation this season too.
This could easily be a story for a future hoops player. I'm just saying that.
I looked up this guy on ESPN, and my initial reaction is that's just a 2K My Career player. That's all that is. He's in the 60s right now. He's the base one. He's like the base model when you start Brown it up. Shirt. Like that's it. And it's if he balls out, great, awesome. I love that. And if he doesn't,
well,
yeah.
If he stays on this team and they win a championship, he'll be like one of those guys that comes back later. It's like, I used to pass the ball to LeBron James.
Yep, absolutely. Fun fact, he actually was teammates with Donovan Mitchell back in his AAU days. Matter of fact, whenever they played the Cavs a couple weekends ago, you actually were able to spot Donovan Mitchell walking out with a Matt Ryan Lakers jersey over his shoulder. They traded jerseys after the game.
That's rad.
So that's super cool. But I say all this story is like it's a small glimmer of hope for Hoops fans and maybe Lakers fans of this could be the future of your franchise. Maybe. Because we all know that unless Bronny James shows up, the Lakers need to have some work that they need to do. But how about that? How about that Russell Westbrook block on Kevin Durant? Man, it just brings tears to my eyes every single time. Just it's beautiful story from this Thunder fan. Anyway, let's go on. We have a special guest in this next segment. So please, ladies and gentlemen, won't you give it up for the one, the only Freddie Airmail.
Hey guys, how's it going? How are you doing?
We're awesome. We're fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Wanted to get my 2 cents in on one of the topics from earlier, going back a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I thought I already explained over in the Discord to Peanut why Liberty, even before that loss to UConn, did not deserve to be ranked, and I don't know why it stuck. I don't know why he's clinging to that, but Liberty University always deserves as little respect as possible. So
Coming out with some
moving right
fire
along
from Freddie Airmail. Okay. Freddie, we brought you on the show for two reasons tonight. One, we've got a really fun topic that we want to cover, and that is the XFL. They have declared their QBs for their teams. We're going to talk about those today. The guy that we know who could talk about all the QBs and their stats and all of that stuff is probably you and Kyle. Like, you guys could literally fill the whole show about that. And matter of fact, you guys did fill a whole show. You guys have a podcast that launched today called Freddie Stat Go. It's an FCTV podcast, and you guys can listen to it on all platforms. So what the heck are you waiting for after the show? Go download it. Go give it a like, subscribe to it, and let people know that podcast is legit when it comes to all the numbers you need to know in sports.
Freddie, when were you going to tell me we had a show? I would have gotten dressed up. I didn't know we had it. It's out right now. When did this happen? What? Oh, I was ill prepared.
I was only recording you. You weren't on camera. You're fine.
Oh, okay. It's all good then.
Yeah. No one has to know about the outfit you were wearing or anything. Like,
Listen.
It's perfectly fine. Guys, let's talk XFL. Congratulations on both of your show releasing today. I can't wait to go have a listen. I've already listened to a few minutes of it, and it got me excited about what's to come out of this show, and I cannot wait to dive in and listen to the rest. So congratulations to you both, but let's talk about XFL. We have our QBs, ladies and gentlemen, and we have some recognizable names on that list. So, Freddie, I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't you read down the list, the QBs, and what teams they've been drafted to, and then maybe some honorable mentions there. There's some names that stand out. I know me and AJ have a personal favorite. Of course. As do I.
I do too.
Oh yeah, you do. You do too.
I was a Glacier Boys fan once.
Yeah. We're all going to be showing up in Orlando one weekend with Mickey Mouse ears and our Bored Ape shirts, and be like, I think we made it, guys. We made it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I think we're lost.
Oh, that too. Freddie, go ahead, my man.
Sure. Let's go ahead. We've got, so there are 8 teams and 15 quarterbacks were allocated today. And I can explain that weird number here in a little bit. But the Vegas Vipers have Luis Perez and Jalen McClendon. The Seattle Sea Dragons have Ben DiNucci and Steven Montez. St. Louis Battlehawks got Ryan Willis and AJ McCarron. Bad memories there. As a Notre Dame fan. The San Antonio Brahmas have Anthony Russo and Jawan Pass as their quarterbacks.
Wait, Freddie, I have to interrupt you. You got that name wrong. It's the San Antonio The Rocks. Continue.
It is the San Antonio
The Rocks.
Yes, it's the
trademark
Rock.
pending.
I tried sounding it out, and I guess
The Rocks.
There were some
It's okay. It's hard for all of us. I know it looks like Brahmas, but it's really said.
It's the San Antonio Dwayne The Rock Johnsons, aka Brahma Bulls. That's the full name.
Why didn't they just call themselves the Johnsons?
Shoot, that's a good one.
Go ask your parents.
I'll explain it later.
New team.
The Arlington Renegades got Drew Plitt and Kyle Slaughter. The Houston Roughnecks have Caleb Ellaby and Brandon Silvers.
Yeah, I recognize one of those names.
The Orlando Guardians have Quentin Dormady and DeAndre Francois.
Woo!
And the DC Defenders have just Eric Dungy because the other quarterback they were supposed to get signed with the Carolina Panthers yesterday, De'Aaron King. They got a little sniped, but I believe it sounds like they're waiting for him to.
Well, maybe they'll just wait for Baker Mayfield to just trade him places, you know?
Or
we'll see.
There is a quarterback.
There is
another that happens to be in the draft pool. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He just happens to go by the name of Mitch Kidd. He's the only one quarterback on that roster. You know, there's a prime spot where you can just slip on in there.
Yeah. I think
And
Mitch
so-
Kidd is well deserving of that role. But let's be honest, I really hope he comes back to the FCF as well. He's an
think all of us
incredible
do.
human being. All of them.
And,
I just want to see.
are
I just want to
awesome.
spend time with him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's great. But I mean,
Kelly
we'll see
Bryant
what
was
happens
also
in
announced to be
DC.
in the pool.
Ooh,
Bryant.
that would be
There we go.
that
There
would
we
be
So-
interesting.
If you want to
These
hear me
15
and Freddie's thoughts on Kelly Bryant, check out the podcast.
That's right. And Mitch Kidd. And DeAndre
Mitch
Francois.
and
And even like a couple seconds on Brandon Silvers.
Which is about how long he lasted in the FCF after Scary Cherry knocked him on his ass.
And we went over him exactly that amount of time for it took for Cherry to hit him, and then we just moved on.
That's pretty good.
So there are 15
Oh,
quarterbacks
love
now,
it.
and there's going to be 2 days of draft tomorrow and Thursday. And the last phase on Thursday is an open period. So all of tomorrow and then most of Thursday are going to be broken down by positions. They've got some skill guys, defensive backs, defensive front seven, that stuff. The open phase is where you're going to see guys from all positions, including quarterbacks. And there were
Okay.
a lot of quarterbacks who threw their names into the ring and got were brought into the pool. And so that's where a lot of teams are going to be getting, maybe some third string guys, some backups, and they can work their way up. I think what they did today was they announced the big names that are going to get some attention, guys that people will know from watching FCF or other leagues.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Last thing I want to mention on the XFL stuff for now.
Mhm.
Is there any surprises out of today's QB picks? Anything that stood out? You're like, wow, that actually was a surprising addition to that team. That are something we want to keep our eyes on.
Based on my numbers, there were I think there's going to be a couple of quarterback controversies on some of these teams. I think especially San Antonio, I'm kind of surprised that they went with Russo and Pass. I figured they could maybe get better than that. And then I think there's going to be a real quarterback controversy in Seattle with Ben DiNucci and Steven Montez. Those are two of my top guys among these 15.
Yeah. So the question is,
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them gets traded to a team that needs a quarterback.
yeah, I was gonna say that seems like some prime trade juice right there. They'll be able to make some money off that deal, or maybe acquire some other players they need in other positions.
Definitely.
But probably one of the places I can go every week to hear more about that stuff is probably the Freddie Stat Go podcast.
Right.
So that's probably where I'm going to tune in.
I think we're going to be covering XFL on the next one.
All right. So if you guys want to know more about the XFL, make sure you guys turn into FCTV's Freddie Stat Go podcast each and every Tuesday. You guys can listen to these two go off about all the numbers that you never knew you needed. But they will cram them in your brain. They find a way. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're excited for your show, Freddie. Thank you for coming on the show, everybody.
Thank you for having
Give
me
it up for
on.
Freddie. Thank you. First guest, by the way, of the Info
Yo,
Arcade.
yeah.
So welcome. And me and Freddie go way back. We got to do a show last season. We had a great time on that show, and so I'm so excited to get to be on here with you today. Anyway, Freddie, see you later, my guy, and have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, Freddie's just an angel. You gotta love that guy. He's so good, so awesome. We've got some gaming and entertainment news coming up. We're gonna get right into it. Call of Duty Warzone comes out tomorrow. This just in, we're getting a lot of people calling in sick to work. There is a large labor shortage tomorrow in all Taco Bell and McDonald's restaurants. So just FYI, or any other office job.
That's the one spot where gamers will need the most. Oh God!
What are we gonna do? Anyway,
especially Taco Bell. Oh no!
Oh man, sorry. I used to work for a fast food restaurant, so I can make that joke. It's not offending anyone. Anyway, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0. They had a press release earlier this week. And as I was scrolling through this, I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this really briefly on the show because this is absolutely insane. First off, are you guys going to be playing at all? Are you guys into Battle Royale games?
Absolutely not.
I
What?
like Battle Royale games, but I'm not playing this one. I don't like Call of Duty games.
Well,
I was there on the front lines when the lobbies were absolute garbage. I'm good, fam.
Same.
Well-
Too many 10-year-olds going, you know what? Bleep you, bleep, 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 bleep. And I'm
way
just,
better
I don't wanna-
than you. I'm so cool. You're not doing your job. I'm good.
guys, that was actually just me. I don't know if that.
When
Oh,
I feel like
it was
I
you
could
the whole
discipline.
It's me. Anyway, Warzone is coming back. They're bringing back some season 1 features, but also adding in some new features, including the ability to get your primary weapon earlier than anticipated. So they're bringing back custom loadouts, so you'll be able to like basically equip out whatever gear you want and be able to get to it in a more
Did you
streamlined
just say-
fashion.
Did you
What?
just say that one of the top like new updates is you get your gun in a Call of Duty game
Well,
earlier? Oh my god.
Oh,
For
no.
Call of Duty fans,
Groundbreaking.
I mean, it's a big deal because usually you're just left with whatever loot is around you, and it's not necessarily fully kitted.
But that's what
but
makes
your
it a
gun will have
Battle
all the
Royale.
attachments. Yeah, no. But this, whenever you're able to call in your loadout, it's got all your perfect attachments, so you've got all your stats and everything that you want.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
Let me just talk about where it gets controversial. So like in a battle
Not
royale,
controversial enough.
in a battle royale, once your character dies, you're eliminated, and then
You go to
Fortnite
the
and Call of Duty
gulag.
did this thing where you could go to the gulag and you could come back. Well, this time around, before it was 1v1 gulag fights, and whoever won that little gunfight and that 1v1 exchange would go back into the game. Well, this time it's 2v2 co-op random pairings within the gulag. You don't know who your teammate is. There is an objective at play, but I'm going to read this because I just think this is super interesting. It says operators who are being sent to the gulag upon first death in Battle Royale before the final circle closes will be randomly paired with another fallen operator. All players must receive a predefined loadout at launch. It'll be a pistol or shotgun or lethal grenade or tactical grenade with a highly effective weaponry and gear placed at the center that they can run to take. Within the gulag, there is a jailer who jumps down onto the circular platform during the duel. The jailer has increased health compared to a normal operator and has a minigun and will take a second to wind up before unleashing a storm of bullets on you. So you can eliminate the jailer NPC and you can team up with the other duo. And if the jailer is eliminated, all 4 players get put back in the game. Or if you kill the other 2 operators, you get put back into the game and say, big, no, thank you. We got this. We don't want to fight the jailer. We just want to kill you. So there's this, we can truce, or I could like, yeah, truce, and then stab you in the back and get put back in the game.
Is it really called the gulag? Is that really what it's called?
The gulag is what it's called, yes.
Mechanically, this is what I think of it. This is what I think of those mechanics. Right? You either it's like that one riddle. It's like if no one grabs the money, everyone gets the money. But if one person grabs the money, no, that person, whatever. 4 people are in a room and there's one guy. Everyone's gonna just shoot the jailer. They're just gonna do that option because they're all gonna be
Unless
like,
there's
I'm
somebody
not-
who's greedy who's like, nope, I want all the money for myself.
yeah.
I'm the dick that's gonna be hiding in the corner, being like, I hope the jailer kills the other 2 guys because I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
Someone pops
like-
around the corner. Poo-poo!
It's super interesting. And also they have a new interrogation tactic, which is whenever you knock an enemy player, you can actually interrogate them to find out their squad mates' positions on the map. And then the other thing that they're introducing into this is so instead of having one big circle that closes in, at the end it will split into multiple circles, multiple small circles. And they have in-game proximity chat. So they're allowing teaming. So like if you get paired up with other people in a circle and you're like, hey, let's team up. Well, you can team up to try to fight and kill all the other guys. So then when the circles re-merge together, you and your squad mates can get back to like to regroup and try to like take on everybody. It's like it's pretty intense. Some of the new stuff they're doing, plus a new DMZ mode, which looks really interesting as well. It's
I really
what?
love Info trying to sell us on.
I'm not trying to sell you.
I'm
This
not
is
a
a
fan
great
of these
game.
new
And
mechanics.
me and AJ just
Well,
like, this ain't it.
Look,
No,
all
not
you can
them.
say is this: is tomorrow's gonna be crazy for Call of Duty fans.
Oh,
But-
absolutely.
But taking the
I-
top spot in the gaming world tomorrow is Call of Duty. But guess who took the top spot at YouTube today? Mr. Beast takes the top spot, beating out PewDiePie as the highest subscribed to individual on YouTube. He actually comes in at 111,900,000 subs over PewDiePie's 111,847,000. So that was actually a surprise today, but also not a surprise because Mr. Beast is just a never-ending, all-time like growing like capitalist machine that gives away money. So I get it. Like, but this begs a question: like, should Mr. Beast like be an owner in fan-controlled sports?
I just have questions. That's all I have.
Okay.
First of all, where does he get the money? How did he get the money? He's just giving it away. That doesn't seem like that. I just don't get, where does this money come from? I know he has like sponsorships, but like, is he really going up to companies and be like, hey, I got these fans. Like, I got 1 million people. You give me $3 million to give away. You'll get like a lot of people looking at your stuff.
So how I think it works, based on my understanding, is a certain number of views equates to, especially monetized, equates to a certain number of money.
But how did he get started?
How did he get started? How everyone else gets started? He just started. I don't think he started giving away $100,000, but I think he built to that.
Did. What were his first videos about? I feel like it was like, you keep your hand.
His
on
first
this
video
car.
started with him like giving like $100 to a homeless guy.
See. Okay,
but like he just
that was
probably his money.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but then the next one was probably what, $100,000 or something.
No, it was a slow jump. I subscribed, and like he like had like 12,000 or 13,000 subscribers when I jumped in. And now he's millions. Video. His first video was Minecraft. Yeah.
Yep.
He was just a gamer nerd like the rest.
Got his start just like PewDiePie.
Yep. And it's so funny too. Like the biggest thing about this whole story is that he actually was trying to boost PewDiePie back during the day where PewDiePie was going up against I can't remember. T-Series. They were battling it out for who was going to be it, and Mr. Beast was like doing this whole like year-long campaign, like sub to PewDiePie, and now he's past PewDiePie himself. I just think that's kind of ironic. Really interesting. What else is ironic is my fantasy sports team. We have taken 4 losses consecutively.
Ooh, feels good. Yeah. Guess who earned their way up into a spot in the playoffs despite starting out 0-4, baby? That's right. It's me, tied with none other than Info Arcade. But it don't matter. I drafted like garbage, and I built up that garbage into a monument of my own success.
You made it, dude. I'm so proud of you.
Everyone doubted me because I took Justin Tucker in round 1, baby. But guess who's on the bottom now? Let's take a look. Number 8, none other than AJ King Kong himself. Oof, how the mighty have fallen.
AJ, what rank are you?
I'm 8.
Number 8.
I dropped 2 spots.
Is that last place?
No, there's 10.
10.
So there's one guy that's 2 and 8. So I don't think AJ's gonna be last. So I don't think AJ has to do the challenge. But I'm basing this purely
it
on
might be time for 24-hour Waffle House if things continue for Mr. AJ.
First of all, I'm not in dead last. Second of all, you guys only have 1 win in front of me. If you both lose this week and I win, I'm going to be in front of you guys. Okay?
It's very possible.
Calm yourself. We still got 4 weeks, all right? You haven't won yet. It is still a
trade
close game.
deadline is this week. You guys going to make any moves?
I don't have anything.
Like,
to,
I
to
want
move.
to, but nobody's gonna give me a quarterback. So
Do you want Mac Jones?
Yeah.
no, because why would I want Mac Jones? I got Geno Smith, but Geno Smith ain't the best.
What about Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones will get you points. He got me points. I beat my last.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
did you
I
just
beat-
say Geno Smith is not the best? Have you
He's not
taken
the
this up with your colleague Jose Ruckus?
We continue to speak about this. He's not the best.
We'll talk about that more tomorrow on the Don't Cause a Ruckus show. But first, we've got to get to Boss Battle. Let's get started.
Choose your character.
And it's time for today's Boss Battle topic, where you, the fans at home, get to decide who you agree with more, and you get to vote for your winner. But today's topic is, we just saw Tampa Bay play in Germany. We've seen a couple of weeks in London in the NFL. So the question is, after seeing all this success in the UK and now Germany, does the NFL need team representation in Europe again? They used to have the European League, but do they just need to go ahead and get official NFL teams and expand into Europe? I want to know your thoughts. Let's start off with Stathead.
Let me tell you.
What do you think, my man?
I think so. I absolutely think so. I think the European League of Football is crushing it right now. They actually got a lot of the old NFL Europe names. So you'll have to come up with something spicy. As for where, Germany. Give them a German team, because I think what you do that way is, first of all, you shout out Germany for winning the most championships in NFL Europe, and secondly, you create a pipeline of players. You create a pipeline of players from Germany, go right into your German team over there, and then I think you expand. I get crazy with it. Let's have football all over the world. Why not? Also, obligatory shout out to Dirty Dude for winning a championship over there in Europe. We love you. Happy retirement. All right, go crush that.
He retired?
He retired from football after 2 championships. He was like, you know what? I'm good.
That's sad. Sad. This Wild Aces fan is sad. Anyway, I've got to say this. That is
news on you.
it's okay, man. It's all good. I'm just gonna go cry after the stream today. Kratos has a comment, and I actually agree with it. He says only if Europe gets a whole division or more.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think you just do 1 or 2 teams. I think if you're gonna do it, you throw in 4 teams to start, minimum. That's it. But with that said, if you're gonna add 4 teams in Europe, you're gonna have to add 4 more teams somewhere else, right? They're probably going to have to create another U.S. division, I would imagine, to be able to coincide the addition of those teams. Otherwise, you're going to have uneven conferences, or maybe they split the conferences. Instead of having 2 conferences, they have 3 conferences, and they figure out what that looks like. I don't know. But personally, I don't think they will. I don't think they ever should. As a fantasy player, I like the European games. But I will also say that it's a pain in the butt waking up at 2 a.m. to set your roster. So that's just me being selfish. Anyway, AJ, I'll turn it over to you. What do you think?
Absolutely not. No. Hell no. And if Stathead was still wearing his headband, I would say that his take is just as good as his headband. Why? Because, like you said, I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to set my lineup. There's no point. Secondly, why on earth would we want to put teams on flights that last that long? We're going to get a lot of jet lag. Players aren't going to be playing their best selves. Just leave it where it is. All right. European League, cool. Then U.S. League, perfect. Just leave it the way it is. There's no need to do it. There's too many questions of how are we going to fix the divisions? How are we going to set this up? Do we need another league? Do we need another division? How are we going to add teams to make it even across the board? You know how you do it? You don't do it. That's how.
Yeah.
And then all I got to say is this. If you do start off, really, Germany, that's your pick of all the places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There are
you got to go with
German
England,
teams
and there is
right now.
a huge war as to why would it be Germany first. All right, that's
get
all
your votes in now, guys. But I gotta say this: if you haven't seen the Germany crowd from this past weekend singing West Virginia, like it was insane. I was blown away by how loud that crowd was. And I was reading some comments on it, and they're like, well, yeah, we're Germans and we're drinking. Of course we're singing Country Road, Take Me Home. like, duh. And so, I mean, hey, that seems like a pretty cool fan base that, they would be able to support a team.
I want to shout out because there are great names in football. The head coach of the Berlin Thunder, his name is Johnny Schmuck. That's a pretty good
dude. Sounds like a schmuck.
I think he might be a schmuck.
Kratos has a great idea. If you do a European division, add a Mexican and Canadian division as well to coincide.
If we do a whole
have an internet, NFC, IFC, international.
I think the easiest way to do this is you do a world division. Every country's got their own division, so we keep the NFL, and then the best team of that division goes and fights for the World Cup. So whoever wins the Super Bowl goes on to go fight for the World Cup.
And then we can have Premier League style rules where teams can get relegated down into the XFL, and then XFL and the FCF teams can get promoted into the actual
We're getting somewhere.
We are talking.
We're making plans. This is happening.
In the meantime, let's just hope that American football continues to grow as fast as soccer is in the U.S. Let's continue to hope that American football grows internationally. It looks like our winner today is yet again AJ King Ka. I don't know what it is about you
over there voting. Check the hands. Check the hands. So someone run them back. How many of those votes are you?
How many votes?
I actually don't vote anymore.
Oh, there you go.
You don't vote no more.
I trust you.
Anyway, guys, that does it for this week's show. Remember to tune in for the rest of our shows that we have lined up. We've got the new Freddy Stat Go podcast. You guys can go check that out after the show. It's available on all listening platforms today for its inaugural episode. Tomorrow, you can go catch another episode of Don't Cause a Ruckus with your boy AJ down there, and also Jose Ruckus, where they can argue left and right about how good Geno Smith actually is. And you can tune in.
Special guest.
We have a special guest tomorrow.
We got FCF player coming on.
Tune in. You don't want to miss that.
You don't want to miss that. You want to check that out, and also make sure you check out the fan controlled show this week, dubbed Bling 'em Young. Bling 'em Young on Thursday. You guys can go check that out as well with Josh McCouga and the boys. And so, yeah, dude, guys, I'm loving how this lineup is shaking out. There's so much content to be had here at Fan Control Sports and Entertainment. And it just is going to keep growing until next year when we get hoops and we get football and it's all fan controlled. It's going to be awesome. So, guys, that is where I'm at. Thank you guys so much for watching, everyone. You can find us here each and every week on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. We hope to see you next week and all of our other shows later this week. But until then, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Whoa!